Durag Diaries. Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to another North Divide show. Me, your boy Jords, and halftime hooks as usual. I know we missed last Monday. There was some things going on, but we are back as we have been consistent. And you may have seen us across some other shows this morning. But today, as you know, we dive straight into Tottenham, straight into Arsenal and everything North London on this show. What are you saying, though, Hooks? Had a nice little break after the Never a Far show, yeah?
Yeah, man. You know me, just doing my thing, chilling. You know, I mean, not really much to talk about on the Arsenal front because we don't play till New Year's Day because obviously we're the greatest team in the world. And, you know, we're the first team in the Prem that plays in the new year. So whether you lot hate us or not, you're going to watch us on the first day of the year. Hold that. Get it. You know,
I mean, yeah, you can have that. What I do find crazy is Tottenham didn't get no break in between these, but you guys managed to spread out. They gave you a Boxing Day game. Or did you man play on Boxing Day or the 27th? You played on the 27th now?
27th, yeah, 27th.
You man played on the 27th, and then you get the big break until the 1st. Tottenham played 26th, 29th, 23rd, pretty much playing every 4 days throughout this period. But hey, is what it is. No complaints, as you said. You guys got your game away at Brentford, but let's talk about it. Spurs drop points, as we can see in the title, yet again. Yeah. Winless in 5 at home in the last 5 games at home. It's a bit crazy. Chat to me though. Apparently, you was watching the game. You said you're watching 2 games. I do struggle to understand how you can have eyes on 2 games at a time. Yes, you can watch them both, but you're never going to be able to analyze them both.
I didn't watch the whole of the. I watched from. I think it was 2-1. I think it was 2-1.
45 minutes, and the second half you probably seen.
Yeah, I watched the. So basically, what I did is I watched the whole of the. Wait, what game was I watching?
The game finished when there was like 25 minutes left of Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what I did is at halftime of the City game, I put the Tottenham game on, and yeah, just I'm watching from there. I'll be honest, like it just looked like any other Tottenham game. Like you, man, I don't know. Like I don't think you or Wolves played well. To be fair, from what I saw, it seemed like it was fairly end to end. We attack, you attack, we attack, you attack. Which is like every other Tottenham game. And you guys just lack the mentality again and concede a late goal. And then, everybody are trying to rush together and trying to get that winner back when you already had the win. Like, you already had the W, and I'm not going to take anything away from Strand Larsen. I think that was a very good finish. Very, very, very good finish.
It was a class finish, yeah.
I was happy because Strand Larsen was in my FPL. So I was like, cool, got me a goal, got me some points, then way there. And yeah, I mean, it's just another L along the way. Even though he didn't lose, but it's still an L. I mean, at home, drawing to Wolves, L.
I said in my match reaction. If people haven't seen it already, I did release it this morning. It does feel like an L. This game definitely felt like a loss. It was very reminiscent. When the game was playing out, it was very reminiscent of the Wolves games we played last year when they beat us. They beat us twice last year. I couldn't even believe it when I checked back because I was thinking, I remember the game they beat us at White Hart Lane, but away from home. And I can't lie, I was worried. I was watching that second half. The performances wasn't getting better. I'm looking at Ange, trying to see him make a change. He tried to make the change, but the change didn't really impact how we played much. It was still, like I said, a bit end to end. There was tactical tweaks from Ange, though. The one thing that people are failing to realize is Ange, he plays his way, he plays his style. People sit there and say he doesn't do anything. There is no plan B. Well, there obviously is because we've seen tactical tweaks throughout this season. I've seen in many games where he makes tweaks at half times or in the games. They're very slight. They're not massive, so you're not going to see a different change in style of play, but you will see a different change in the way that we set up and the way that we approach the game. And yesterday, I felt like we've done that. You saw Bentancur and Basuma coming to the midfield. You saw them dropping in deep in a double pivot at times. Basuma obviously being the main guy to sit in the role in front of the defenders. But to be honest, it didn't make much of a difference. I just think that the quality in players out there isn't. It's not to the ability that we need. just can't perform what Ange needs from the team. And
But
I'm looking.
Is that a tactical tweak, like specifically on the Basuma and
And
Bentancur thing?
Bentancur, they've not played together all season. They don't. He doesn't like to play both of them because he likes to have Sarr in the midfield so he can be the box to box and be the legs in the midfield to get up and down the pitch. Or
But is that
with two advanced eights? He doesn't play both of them together.
But what I'm trying to get at is that a tactical tweak, or because you said it's something that he doesn't like doing? Is it something that he was forced into because of the amount of games you've had to play? Like everybody, like you know what I mean? You can't.
I don't think he's forced into It's forced. It was definitely forced because of the players we had available. He's had to protect the defense, so he put two more defensive midfielders on who are going to sit in front and do a good defense job. For me, Bentancur had a really good game yesterday. He was all over the pitch. He was closing down every attack they had. Whenever the ball's coming into and
now he's gone to Newcastle.
That's it, bro. This Sicario South American gunslinger thinks that his head goes, bro. I don't know. Did you actually see the challenge he done? 95th minute, game's finished. The game was done when he got the yellow card. The game was done. 94th minute, just goes flying in. He's about to go out for a throw, but I guess he wanted to win it. Flying in, gets himself a yellow card. He's just South American, bro. These guys lose their head in moments, don't really know how to control and keep composure. And yeah, man, that's exactly it. He's now suspended for a game, lost his head, stupidness. And now we have to play again in the midfield.
That's a hard game, Newcastle. This is the thing, yeah. This is for me, yeah. You had to win this game because seeing where your 3 points come from next is really hard, yeah. Because with the team that you have, yeah. So with the players that you have, yeah, you got to play Newcastle. Then you got to play Liverpool in the EFL Cup. Then you got to play Tamworth at their ground. I ain't got a clue who Tamworth is, but it just sounds like one of them teams that they don't like. This is the biggest game that they'll play all season.
So
they're gonna go all out. Do you know what I mean? You know them ones where they're not really ballers, so you got to be a bit wary because your players might start dropping.
You don't know how to prepare for them because they're rubbish and they just do things that top players don't do. You don't know how to too unpredictable.
Them 2-footed challenges, rugby tackles, all of that. Yeah. Then you got to come to the Emirates. Yeah. Hard. Then you got to go to Goodison Park, which we now know Everton is a very hard game. Man City.
Don't make it seem like we beat them 4-0. I'm not sitting here talking.
Man City, at your ground.
Okay, but Hooks, if you actually check records in history, Tottenham have one of the best records at Goodison Park. We slap Everton.
Yeah. But wait. Man City didn't get points with them. Arsenal didn't get points. Well, Man City, Arsenal, and
Chelsea all drew.
Chelsea all dropped points to Everton.
Yeah.
I know Nottingham Forest just beat them, but I don't think, given your current scenario and their current scenario, I don't think it's as easy as of a game as what it may have been in previous years.
What I will say on that is trying to predict where your next win come from is just like trying to play the lottery with Spurs, isn't it? Like we don't know what Spurs team is going to turn up. We don't know what Spurs team is going to be available for the day because obviously injuries, players are going to be coming back, and also it's January transfer window. You've spoken about this enough time, Hooks. We need signings. You need signings. How quick those signings come in they can impact the way that these games play out. So I'm not going to look too far ahead and try focus on the Arsenal game in 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks and think, it's not that far away. But when in the context of how many games we've got before then, it is quite far. We've got 4 games before it, innit?
No, three. You've only got one Premier League game before.
One Premier League game, but then we got just the Newcastle, Tamworth, and then Liverpool.
Then you got Liverpool in the EFL. You got Tamworth. You got Newcastle, and then you got Arsenal. Well, sorry, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tamworth, Arsenal.
Yeah, so 3 games away. 3 games away. So we still got some time before players can come back, form can pick up. Well, I say form pick up, it's only a few games, so probably not form, but performances can pick up anyway. We're obviously going to have more rest over this time. But one of the biggest things, looking at that is just Spurs need players, man. We need players in January. We need change. We need life. We need something to come into this team to make a difference. Because yeah, man, right now the lack of options available is killing us. And obviously I was just on the stream with Tobes and we're going back and forth about whether it's the manager or whether he can make the changes and so on. I just need to sit here and acknowledge the fact that, look, I have acknowledged Ange is at fault for some of the way that we're playing, for some of the things that are happening, for some of these games that we're losing. But when I look back at yesterday in particular, that's not Ange. You can't look at Ange and say, oh, yeah, he didn't set the team up. We set the team up in a different way, set us up more defensively. So we didn't concede as many chances. We only had 3 shots on our goal conceded. So defensively, we weren't too bad. Obviously, the goals we scored were poor goals to concede. Barring the first one is just a little set piece play that got set up. But the Strand Larson goal was just poor from the centre backs. Am I going to go mad at Archie Gray for trying to hold the line and not doing a centre-back job properly? No, he's not a centre-back. It's what I expect from him. But ultimately,
we're not killing him.
We need to see change ASAP, and the change isn't going to be with inside the team or inside the walls of Spurs currently, because we've already seen the capability of a lot of these players. I think a lot of them are maxed out where they're at. And Maddison, for me, has been one of those players where I'm just giving up. Just giving up.
You've given up with Maddison?
Giving up with Maddison.
I'll swear down. So, do you know what? Yeah, I actually have a question. Yeah, and I'm not trying to troll. Yeah, but do you even think that there's enough that you could do within one transfer window to change it? Like, to me, it seems like you need maybe another 2-3. Like, I don't like whatever you feel like you need to do as Tottenham to kind of turn it around. Like, do you genuinely believe you will actually do it in January?
So that's where the biggest question is. How many players are we going to bring in? I don't think that we need 6 or 7 players or anything crazy like that to turn this season around. I don't. I think squad-wise, we might need 6 or 7, but we don't need that in our lineup right now. We just need players back from injury. We need options. And if we can bring in 3 solid players, this is the biggest difference, what people aren't. They fail to realize in the summer, we all, as Spurs fans, whenever we done our podcast, whenever we done our shows, and you obviously watched because you said you saw, we needed 3 first-team players to come into that lineup and improve us. We brought 1. Dominic Solanke was the only first-team player we actually brought in the summer to improve our first team. Now, this January transfer window, if we can go sign...
Oh, my God. I just remembered. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I just remembered, yeah. What was you man doing, yeah, when you man did the circus thing in the box when was it Solanke tumbled into somebody else? But see, this is just
guys are he's trying to take this left now. No, so that was just, I can't lie. Solanke had done some really good play. He done some really good play. Done a little link up with Kulu. Ball, I think it was Kulu. Ball come back across, and obviously because he's built up the play, Solanke's thinking, "This is mine, bro. I want the ball. Leave that shit." So he's running. He's trying to go for it. And obviously that I don't know why no one has shouted out my ball. You know, like Rodrigo's or Solanke's, Dom's, whatever the fuck. No one said nothing. These two just both run into the ball, clatter each other, and whatever happened, didn't it? It was a bit of a calamity. Typical Spurs way. It's not great, but it was just a bit of a mess at the front. But yeah, no, I think with Spurs, isn't it? Like, we just need a couple sign. Oh shit! I got the door. 2 seconds. Hook's gonna tell you guys what he thinks about Spurs January transfer window.
So basically, yeah, what Spurs need to do in the January transfer window, yeah, is they need to sell everybody and buy a whole new 25-man squad, yeah, because you man ain't doing shit, blood. You know them way do. You know them way do, man. Nah, in all honesty, I think that Spurs definitely need to look into getting another centre back, preferably a centre back that can cover. I think it's more important to cover Van der Ven than it is to cover Romero, in my personal opinion, because I feel like there's a bigger loss if Van der Ven goes out of the side than a bigger loss if Romero goes out the side. I think you need to go and grab yourself, like Arsenal, a left winger, or just a winger of quality. Like, I would say the ilk has to be up here. You know, I'm not entirely sure. Like, which side will be better for Spurs, but Werner on one side, Johnson on the other. It just doesn't sound nice. So definitely a winger. I think you're screaming out for a 6, but I think a lot of teams are screaming out for a 6, and I don't think a 6 is so easy to come by currently. Like, I don't think there's too many 6s out there in the world that you could go and grab in January that would completely change anybody's season. I know a lot of people say, with Liverpool potentially or Man City potentially going for Zubimendi, but I don't even think Zubimendi changes either of their seasons because he's never played in the Prem. I don't know if he'll be able to adapt in the time frame that they'll need him to. He's probably definitely a better summer signing. And then the other place where I think that, Tottenham really need to look into is either, if you could find someone that could play both, great, but either left back or right back. Personally, in my opinion, I don't think you need a goalkeeper in January. I think waiting until the summer is fine. I mean, Vicario is gonna come back, and I mean, you wouldn't want to go and sign a goalkeeper in January and then, that keeper.
Yeah, that's the thing. Vicario comes back maybe February, so the goalkeeper might have.
It wouldn't make sense.
And then he's straight back.
It actually wouldn't make sense. Like, it's like from like a spending perspective, it wouldn't make sense. Like, you'd literally be maybe throwing 20 to 30 million down the drain when that 20 to 30 million could be the difference between getting like a B rank winger to now an A rank winger. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so obviously I don't know if he was here, but I said you need a centre back that can cover Van de Ven's side. I don't think it's so important covering Romero's side. I think it's more important to cover Van de Ven's side.
Just to give you some info on that, the reason why we haven't signed a centre back for that side is because I don't know if you know, have you seen the video of that kid doing the overhead kick in the Belgian league, the centre back? That's our young G, 17-year-old, 6'5" man. He's bagged bare goals this year, but man bagged that overhead kick the other day. Everyone's watching. He's cold. I can't lie. The guy is cold.
Can you call him back from loan? Is he on loan?
That's what I don't know. He's on loan. He's doing like he's supposed to be spending a year there to grow some experience. I don't know if we can call him back from loan. I've got a feeling we can't call him back from loan, and that's why Spurs aren't. But also, I've got a feeling that's why Spurs aren't signing another centre back, because they don't want to block his pathway. Now, I don't think that's right. I'm not going to sit here and say that you should be protecting the youth pathway, but ultimately, I can't lie, this kid was signed as literally one of the best centre-backs in his age group across world football at 16. So there's obviously a reason why Spurs don't. They're very keen not to block his pathway and sign a centre-back. But Dragoos is not good.
Bundle that. Like, because you need problems.
You need centre-back right now. We need centre-back right now.
You need solutions for now. You don't need solutions for 3-4 years' time.
No, I agree, Hooks. That's what I said. I'm not on that protecting pathways business, because ultimately we need him right now. If you can't call him back, sign another centre back. If he's good enough, he'll play for us in the future. And that's the way I think of it. But look, I know we got enough people in the chat now. Enough people. Saeed raid. Big up to Saeed for the raid. I just see everyone. And I've been missing the chat, so let me actually just go through the chat. Big up to the people inside, because we're 20 minutes in. If you haven't already, I keep forgetting to do this now because Spurs have got me so heated. Like the video, people. Show some love. Like the video. That's all you can do by showing some love to the channel. Show me a little like. Tap that button. If you haven't already as well, subscribe to the channel, man. It's gonna help me grow. We're on that road to 1K. I keep forgetting to put the banner up. So, I'm just rattled going into these streams because I'm just waiting to chat rubbish about my club. Road to 1K, man. We're not too far off. I think we've got like 250 to go. Make sure you go over there and tap that subscribe button. And then also, my brother Hooks' channel is in the name of the video. It'll only take a second. Click on his link over to his channel and show some love over there. But big up to everyone in the chat. We've got Mali Talks inside the building from before we started. Big up to you. Hotspur Cave every single time. The Man Like Blacks. Make sure you go check out his channel as well. He's got some mad rants on Spurs. And if you want a guy that's going to be emotional, you want a guy that's going to go mad, Hotspur Cave is the guy for you. Babe Rose, why is Hooks on the right side? It's just Arsenal's logos on that side, Tottenham's logo on this side. We got to keep it, you know what I mean?
I'm the right
What
guy.
else have we got in here? Big up to Justin. Big up to Justin, always inside as Hooks, it was offside. Anyways, allow it. That was the Benton core and Solanke getting into each other.
Oh, that's funny.
What else we got there? We got so much. I missed so much chats, people. So bad. My bad if I have missed them. If you've got any questions, just re-put them into the chat so we can find them. And I guess Saeed had asked the people to Ange out raid. Ange out. Big up to everyone that has joined from Saeed. I'm seeing Ange out everywhere. Bloody yo. I didn't even scroll down in the chat, and all I'm seeing is Ange out. I hear what you guys are saying. But I have to sit here and back my manager. I have to sit here and be the guy to not be emotional, be the guy that's not going to sit here and make my decision off the fact of 1 game or 2 games or 3 games. We need to sit here and evaluate 18 months of Tottenham. We need to evaluate where we've been at as a club for the past 2 to 3 years.
We do. 18 months.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
And where we've been at for the past 3 to 4 years.
You've only been good for 10
18 months and then 2 to 3 years and 3 to 4 years. Huh?
You've only been good for 10 of those games, bro. What are we doing?
We was good for the first 10 of the games, and then since then we've had a lot of injury problems.
And then what after that, bro? Honestly,
2024 has been a bad year for Spurs. 2024 has been a bad year for Spurs, but it's coincided with a lot with having injuries majority of the time, bro.
But bare clubs have injuries, so I'm not even trying to hear
100%.
that. And if we're gonna talk about Tottenham being a club that is at that level, yeah, because obviously it's you, Tottenham, man, that always want to put, you know, Tottenham up there with the Cities and the Chelseas and the Arsenals and the Liverpools and the Man Uniteds, even though Man United is deeper in the mud than you right now, but you get it, you get the traditional big 6. You man want your club to be up there, then we got to speak about your club in the same way. And I promise you, when Ange first came in, those first 10 games, and I know part of that period really well because I was in Tokyo, yeah, and one of the brothers that I was out in Tokyo with, he's a Tottenham fan, yeah. So bare time we're up some stupid o'clock in the morning watching Tottenham games, yeah. You man were flying. I give it to you. You man were flying. But if you remove, yeah, that first period from when the season started, I think it was until the end of October, yeah. If you remove that period from Ange at Tottenham, I'm pretty sure he's your worst manager. I'm pretty sure he actually has the worst managerial record at Tottenham in recent years. That's poor. So for you as a
percentage is pretty bad.
Exactly. So for you, no, relax, bro, relax. Because I'm speaking on behalf of the Tottenham fan base, yeah, that get it. Do you know what I mean? Because
you're an Arsenal fan. You can never speak on behalf of the Tottenham fan base. Don't say that.
I'm speaking on behalf of the Tottenham fan base that get it, bro. Because it's very similar to the Arsenal fan base, yeah, where it's always at war with each other. Oh, manager in, manager out, this player in, this player out, like always at war with each other. Very similar, yeah, bro. This brother, I don't know what he has done, yeah, that makes a certain part of your fan base, yeah, just go, it's not Ange's fault. It's not Ange. It's all down to the players. Why is he absolved of accountability? Bro, he's been awful. He actually has if not worse.
All right. Let me tell you.
Ten Hag got sacked. So why can't he get sacked?
Let me tell you. First of all, big up to Fans on TV every single time. Justy and Dean, make sure you go over there and see Trench Talks on a Friday night. funny show with all the man them on there. But to answer your question, yeah, the difference between Ange and all these other managers that have been in with Spurs or had a tenure at us over the past 12, 13 years, or since I'd say since Levy, Spurs are going through a huge transition at the point when Ange had come in. We generally needed a rebuild. Since Pochettino, all the managers that had come in after him, hadn't had the chance to rebuild. They was in for 12 to 18 months. And when they didn't have their players in, we just started again. And we had a bunch of players from different managers that just weren't up to standard. These players weren't good enough for Spurs. These players have just been hanging around in the squad, and so we needed to trim the squad. Similar to when Arteta had come in after Henry, you needed to trim the squad of some shit players you had in there: Cedric Suarez, Kolasinac, Mustafi, all these deadbeat players. Yeah, you have to get rid of them. Now, Tottenham, I had to go through this stage of last season where we got rid of a lot of players, and then again at the end of this season, or end of last season, sorry, got rid of a lot of players. And now we've got a trimmer squad. Our squad is a lot more thinner, and we're trying to go through and battle for 4 competitions. Now, I can sit here and acknowledge, again, after the 10 games, Ange hasn't really had a good record at Spurs. But it has coincided with the injuries. It has coincided with the lack of squad. And I haven't sat here and expected Ange to overachieve with these players or this squad, because I've acknowledged the players haven't been good enough. The problem with Spurs for so long has been the players aren't good enough. Under Mourinho, the players weren't good enough. Under Conte, the players weren't good enough. If we just had better players, people think we would have done better with those managers. So why now are we getting to the point where a manager's being questioned? Oh yeah, how good are you? How good can you do for this team? Are we not looking at the players again? Say these players aren't good enough. The board is not giving us good players to perform the way we want to. I look at Ange, I look at his previous teams, and the one thing I will acknowledge is all the other leagues he's been in, he's majority of the time he's had the best players in the league, so he's of course performed the way that he has against a lot of the teams. That's the long short of it. He's used to being the best team in the league and dominating teams.
They've been easy leagues as well.
It's not necessarily how easy the league is in comparison to the team that you've got. Let's not do stupid things now. How easy the league is in comparison to the team you got, and I'll sit here and acknowledge Celtic was the best team in their league. So being the best team in their league.
Please. Can we just not
You're
do this?
saying they're not good leagues, okay, but at the same time, you can only manage what's in front of him, bro. Like the guy he's done a good job at Celtic, done a good job at J League or whatever, done a good job in Australia. He earned himself into the Premier League. I'm not sitting there
and you can't name the team. It's crazy, bro.
Why am I going to name... Bro, I've never sat here and said I'm an Ange specialist, bro. I know about Ange in the previous 10 years. I didn't do enough research. I didn't fully go into the depths of what he was doing at Yokohama, whatever.
Do you know what's crazy, though? Do you know what's actually crazy, though? Do you know what? At Yokohama, F.M, yeah? Do you know he only had 1.66 points per match in his tenure? That's only 0.02 better than currently at Spurs. And we can both agree it's not really working out at Spurs, but it worked out at Yokohama. So to me, that proves, how much more difficult this league is than the Japanese league. That in the Japanese league, that 1.66 points per match was doing him nice. But the 1.64 points per match here has, bro, look where you are. Do you know what? Yeah, like, do you know what? I honestly feel like, if I wasn't an Arsenal fan, and I was any other fan, I was a Brentford fan, I was a Nottingham Forest fan, I was God forbid, may hell freeze over, I was a Spurs fan, man would listen to what I'm saying, bro. Man had a 2.31, points per match at Celtic, bro. Yeah, do you know why? Because when he was at Celtic, Rangers was, I'm pretty sure when he joined Celtic, it was the season that Rangers either, I don't know if it was the season that they came back into the top
Gerrard, I think,
of Scottish League.
No. They'd been in the top tier for years at that point. Because remember,
there was a period of time when they got relegated. Not relegated.
They got relegated, but Gerrard was there when they were back before he went to Villa, and he took them to like multiple leagues. I'm pretty sure.
Nah, because I'm pretty sure when he came into Celtic, obviously, I don't, but I'm pretty sure Celtic. But you know what the Scottish League is like. If Celtic,
when he came into Scotland, there was Rangers. Rangers were a good side when he came into Celtic, but I don't
know about that.
Bro, you need to check. Rangers got relegated like 8 years ago, and then they worked their way back up instantly. And Gerrard was their manager about 6 years ago before he came to Aston Villa and had a good couple of seasons there. And then Ange came in at the point that Gerrard left to come to Villa.
before
Unai Emery was at Villa and Ange was at Celtic. I'm pretty sure there was like a small crossover between them.
Bro, by the
But
way,
it wasn't at the time.
bro, by the way, Rangers won. So the year that he came in, Rangers won the league. The year that he came in. Yeah?
Yeah,
But before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, won it 9 times in a row. And then after that, they won it 3 times in a row, bro. And then
the year they won it was it that year that Gerrard came in and that they were flying. Rangers were a very good team that season.
Bro, by the way, wait, bro, let me tell. This is the levels of the Scottish League, yeah. The last time Celtic or Rangers didn't win the league, yeah, bro, it was 1985. 1985. Deep it, bro.
I don't know what the point you're making. Ultimately, we all knew
the point I'm making is, bro, I keep on saying this, and it's mad frustrating, yeah. He's not good enough to be managing at this level of football. He's not. His way of playing worked in the Japanese league. Do you know why it worked in the Japanese league? Because nobody else in the Japanese league has a clue of what he's doing tactically. Because that is the level. No disrespect to my Japanese brothers, because I you get me. I love Japan, bro. If you know me, you know that man loves Japan, bro. Man been there bare times. Anime, manga, all of them things there. Yeah, you get it. Sushi, katsu,
I was to make sure you don't get cancelled. He's doing the protection, right?
all them things there. Soon, yeah. When I can pattern it up, I'm gonna be doing watch-alongs to the J League. Yeah, don't worry. I'm coming from my Tokyo fan base, bro. Yeah. Now, again, the Scottish League. Yeah, bro. None of those teams know what's going on. They don't know what's happening, bro. Like,
all right. But when you're saying his style of play, we've obviously seen, but you're sitting there saying his style of play doesn't work. Okay, but we've seen this season and last season in particular, the style of play works. It definitely works. We broke teams down and we've caused problems for the best teams in the league. But even this season, some of our best performances this season have been against the hardest teams in the league, the better teams in the league. We put up good performances. It's just the question of for me, the questions of his tactics and the football itself is of the sustainability of it. That's how I look at it. I don't sit here and say the tactics aren't good. You can't sit here and question whether the tactics aren't good because he's got his team to this level and got the Tottenham job because his tactics they're definitely good and they're to his own. They're very what's the word I'm looking for? They're niche. It's a niche. There's not many people out there with the tactics that he deploys. So people are they've found ways to nullify what he does. But even still, when you're trying to nullify it, we find ways to break through. I look at the problem with us and say that with an Ange system, with the way that you play, you need top quality attackers. You need players that can take on their man. We don't have the right profiles of players to match the Ange system. If you want to sit here and look at the Celtic team, then look at the Celtic team and compare it to Tottenham's team. Compare the role profiles. Look at the wingers that they had. They had Jota, a winger who was keen on taking on his man, a winger that constantly got at his man, cut inside, putting balls into the box, quality balls. We've now got Johnson and Son, who either of them can't take their man on. They couldn't take their man on. They don't know how to. So I'm looking at these players and say, these aren't the players that Ange needs to perform the way that he wants to. Now, I know there are players in Tottenham squad that perform the way he needs, and they're definitely, the profiles are there. They're just not available at this moment in time. I'm not going to sit here and say that he should be doing a lot better when we're missing three or four out of our first back of 3 or 4 of our back 5 in Vicario, Van der Ven, and Romero. We need new centre backs. We need depth. We need to sign players, but you can't not back the manager and sack him before he gets back. Don't you think it gets to a point, Hooks, where you're going to continue sacking managers? You're going to keep going back around in the same circle. I know you want to see the worst of Spurs, but ultimately, you have to just continue with a manager at one point. Don't you agree?
Do you know what the thing is? Yeah, I actually really don't have the kind of hatred that for Spurs that people think that I have. Genuinely, yeah. This is stressing me.
This is it. Just what D said. I'm just good enough to beat the top teams. We've shown that. He just needs to work out how to get over the small teams. He needs to work out how to maintain consistency in the Tottenham side.
Look, this is I don't know how to get this point across here, but this is something that you need to understand. Yeah, the way that he plays football cannot work in the Premier League because the Premier League is way too intense, bro. Like it's not like the J. It's not, again, all due respect, it's not like the J League where, yeah, if you want to play the high line for life, it's cool because you go to certain teams and it's like, by the
We've
way,
already adjusted this
it's
high
like, by
line,
the
though.
way,
This high line
it's
stick
like,
is a load of rubbish. We don't play the same high line we did at the start of last season.
Bro, relax, yeah. It's like if me and you went to the park now, yeah, and said, cool, me and you versus the 7-year-olds at the park. That's what some of the games are like, bro. Like the Scottish League, yeah. By the way, you can run the highlight, you can run his tactics over there because the majority of the teams that you're playing, probably outside of Rangers, Dundee, Aberdeen, and maybe Motherwell, outside of those teams, yeah, bro, it's like me and you go to the park, yeah, and there's some secondary school kids there. Maybe me, you, D go to the park, yeah, let's play ball against the 16-year-olds, and we move to them. That's kind of what it's like. In the Premier League, there is nowhere that you can go to and it's not an intense game. Which means, yeah, coupled with the fact in the Premier League, in English football, sorry, you play more games than anyone anyway, because we have 2 domestic competitions, yeah, cup competitions, yeah. So now, and you're in Europa League as well. So now Ange, yeah, has to play the high line for life, yeah. And yeah, cool. You say maybe he's changed it a bit, but it's still a high line. Like you're still heavily relying on your defenders.
Plays a high line. Playing a high line is just a part of play sometimes. We all play high lines. Like, what are we doing here? There's a lot of managers that play high lines,
bro. But let's not pretend that the biggest part of your club right now is the recovery, the super high line and the recovery. Let's not pretend that that's not the case. If you do that,
the biggest problem is the intensity
like 95 games, bro. Your players. It doesn't matter. Do you know what? Yeah, you're only allowed a 25-man squad. Yeah, it actually doesn't matter who you have in your team. No human.
We currently don't have a 25-man squad.
Yeah, I know you don't. But the max that you can have the max you can have is 25-man squad.
No, but we didn't even register 25 because we don't have 25 players.
It doesn't matter, bro. Because the point I'm making is it doesn't matter who you have at your club. It doesn't matter. You could have every man in your team could be Mo Farah. Yeah, it doesn't matter, bro. You can't play this football is not sustainable over the amount of games and how intense those games are in the Premier League. It's not sustainable, bro. You've already got the thing is, yeah, you'll say to me, oh, you can't really judge Ange because we got bare injuries. But a lot of the injuries that you have are inflicted.
I didn't say you can't judge Ange. I just say that you've got to take away from Ange. And it's not confusing. It's not confusing because I've been consistent in saying that Ange takes blame for some of these. I think the intensity that we play. I think the intensity that we play at is a problem. But to sit here and say, oh, it's because of the high line. No, it's not because of the high line. It's because of the intensity, bro. We're trying to press teams for 90 minutes. That's the problem. We're trying to attack teams for 90 minutes. That's the problem. But the reason we do that,
but why do you have such a high line? Because
we don't have such a high line a lot of the times, though. We play on the halfway line. When the ball's in their half, we play on the halfway line, like every other team in the league.
Which is a what,
bro? You're trying to act like this is some super duper high line. Footballers play with high line. Pep plays with a high line, bro. Attacking teams play with high lines. What are we doing here?
But the difference is, Pep's high line, bro, you don't have your left back and your right back pushing up to pretty much RAM.
The difference is that they actually, when they have Rodri there, they have a competent 6 in front of them, bro. We've seen over the last 6 weeks that without a 6 in front of that high line, Man City are toasted. Have we not seen that? Without a good 6 in front of the high line, they're toasted. Is that not what we've seen?
Bro, I don't even understand why you're battling. Honestly, I don't understand why you're battling this. What do you gain from battling the truth, bro? Like, you do realize the difference between the Ange's system and Pep's system is the fact that your left back and your right back pretty much become both attacking midfielders, which means when your high line is up there, bro, it's Van der Ven and Romero on the halfway line. That's all. Van der Ven and Romero.
Where's the six?
So when people break against you, man heavily rely, like, bro, if he don't exist, yeah, you would be even further. You're witnessing it now, yeah. If Van der Ven was never signed by Spurs, where you are now is where you would have been last season, bro, because you heavily rely on this brother's insane recovery speed. This is why you signed him. Insane recovery speed for transition. This is all inflicted by your manager and the way that he has opted to play. It's not my opinion. I'm telling you what the facts are. Like, you have a lot of injured players.
You're telling me, I've even got the graph up in front of me, yeah, because I can't get up on here because I need to upload it and stuff of where the average positions of Tottenham players this season.
Here we go.
And you're sitting. No, because you're sitting there telling me about highline, about where my players are playing, but my fullbacks aren't as central as they was last year. They're not always. They are inverting, most definitely. They're definitely inverting. And we saw against Wolves that they didn't invert as much and they played a bit deeper. They dropped in so they could support the defenders. So I see the changes, but there's only so much changes you can.
And what happened? And you didn't win, right? Do you not?
We didn't win. Why? Why did we not win?
I know why. I know why you didn't win.
Why?
Because your players for the last 18 months or so have been coached into only playing one way, and then in one game they're all different. Hello? It's like, do you know what it's like? It's very similar.
Wait. So now you're blaming it on the fact that Ange changed his tactics. That's why we lost.
It's very similar. No, I'm okay. I'm sorry, yeah. Your team isn't full of like A1 players. No disrespect. Actually, do you know what? Full disrespect, because one Tottenham. But your team is not full of full A1 players, yeah? So when you've been coached for 18 months or so into doing one thing, one way, and rigid and never moving away from that, in the one game, you decide to do something different for whatever reason it may be. I understand you got injuries. I understand your situation. So you may have to play a bit different. They're not used to playing that way. It's like if every day, yeah, if you think about your workplace, yeah, if every day you're coached into doing one thing, if you're coached into, yeah, we work this way with the spreadsheet. And then for 18 months, you've worked this way with the spreadsheet.
Bro,
and then one day your manager goes, no, we now need to do this with the spreadsheet. You're going to make mistakes, bro.
Okay, but have you not ever done a job and then someone else doesn't turn up and then you're like, oh, they've been called in sick. So you've now been called in to do their job as well as your job and then just fix it all and just, figure it out. That's what happens. Sometimes you need to do a job. No? Yours. You need to work. You need to work with what you've got in front of you. You need to work with the options available. And my manager done that this weekend. Worked with the options available, made a few changes, and now people are going to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, it's his fault because he made the changes and he waited 18 months to make changes. He should have made changes 12 months ago." Bullshit. What the problem is?
Wait, he should have had a plan B time ago. He should have had a plan B time ago. You don't implement your plan B 18 months into your tenure. You implement your plan.
He's shown maybe after times throughout the season. Look, we can all acknowledge that he's not a master tactician. He's not a master tactician. He's not an Arne Slot or Erden Terzic or these managers that are doing tactical changes every game, or Conte, who just focus fully on tactics every single game. He's not that guy. We can all acknowledge that. But you don't need to be that guy to be a top manager. That's one thing people aren't acknowledging. You don't need to be that guy to succeed in the Premier League. You can play this way and just do small tactical tweaks to the system with the right players. The problem here, and like you said, and like you actually highlighted to earlier that you're just failing to jump back onto, is I think for the Ange system, the biggest problem and the biggest thing is why we've not succeeded is we need a 6. We need a 6. We need someone that can shield the defense. If you have a competent shield in front of the defense, you don't concede as many chances. And that is where the issue lies. I feel like we need someone to come in, shield the defense, to close out some of the gaps, and ultimately be a ball winner, bro. We ain't got that in front of us. We got Basuma, head loss Basuma. The guy that wins gives away fouls every time, gives away penalties and gets red cards, bro. And you're telling me, you even said it earlier that we need a 6, and now you're telling me, oh no, the way you play is never gonna work because
no, but you do need a 6 because, bro, I was saying Basuma was not of the levels time ago. It was you, man, that was telling me that he's a better.
No, don't say you, man. You said you watched me last year. You would know that I said last season Basuma's not good enough. I said this time last year, get Basuma out of my club. I said it straight after. What do you mean?
It was you, man, that told me that he's better than Partey. Well, wait, wasn't it you, man, that was telling me that Basuma's better than Partey?
I might have said that when we first signed it.
Exactly.
I didn't say right. No. But this is what you're not going to do. You're not going to call me out on something I didn't say. I wanted it, okay. And then I admitted I was wrong and said I wanted him out of my club 12 months ago. So what do you want from me now? Do you want me to apologize? I'm not going to apologize. I already said that I was wrong.
I don't care about your apology, bro. I'm just telling you what you, man, were saying.
I already said I was wrong on that. And I said that he's not better right. So what are we doing?
But you know what? Okay, but the thing is, yeah, Basuma, yeah, I think it's a bit too far to say he's dead. Because I think if you play him as an 8, he's a good 8.
It's not.
I think he's a good 8. Play him as a 6. It's a mad thing. It's a bit of a mad thing.
Well, you're saying he's a good 8.
Play him as a solo 6.
Let me ask you a question here then.
Crazy.
Do you think he's better than Bentancur? Or Sarr in the 8? In the 8. Let's just say in the 8. If you put either Sarr or Bentancur in the 8, you think Basuma does a better job than either of them?
Yeah.
Nah, that's rubbish. You haven't seen Basuma for Spurs enough then. You haven't seen Basuma for Spurs.
I think Basuma is a better 8 than Sarr. I think he's a different type of 8 to Bentancur. I think Bentancur is a better 6, like a deep lying playmaker than an 8. And Basuma's a box to box type player. Bentancur's not that. Bentancur's not that. Do you know what I mean? So
Bentancur is that though. That is the thing people get wrong. Bentancur does the box to box. Bentancur is a box to box midfielder. You play him.
You're the guy. No, he's not. He's a deep line playmaker. No, he's not. He's a deep line player. He's not box to box.
He is, bro. I'm not. He can play the deep line playmaker role, but he's definitely a box to box. You see with the way he gets up and down the pitch. He prefers to play that role. And yesterday, you saw one of the problems that we had with the double pivot was Bentancur drifts off. He likes to go attack. He likes to press. He likes to get up and down the pitch. He does the box. He's not a deep line playmaker. I'm telling you now, from seeing him enough at Spurs, he's better. Sometimes he's better off the ball than he is on the ball.
This is what see exactly what I'm pretty sure is saying. Yeah, it's the tactics that leave the likes of Basuma exposed, innit? So Basuma was amazing at Brighton because the tactics made sense for him. Ange's tactics doesn't really make sense for Basuma. Don't really make sense. It don't really make sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just a bozo. Like, he's just a bozo, bro.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's a. Okay. Ask me this year. When you signed him from Brighton, did you think he was a bozo?
When I signed him from Brighton,
I can't remember off the top of my head at the time. I can't remember off the top of my head a time where I looked at him when he was at Brighton and went, okay, that's a bit of a bozo. Maybe he had the odd red card.
Okay, at Brighton, we have to look. We have to all be honest here. For one, no one watches Brighton week in, week out. We all would have watched them fairly enough because they play some good football, but we're not watching those teams week in, week out. Similar to like with Maddison at Leicester, you're not watching these players every single week. Now, when they played against big teams, they definitely had good performances, and Basuma was one of them. He performed against Spurs a lot of the times, controlled the midfield and done that 8 role well. Like you said, coming into Spurs, he's played different systems. Now, he's not only, this is what you're failing to acknowledge, he hasn't only played the Ange system. He played under Conte, he played under Mason, he played a few different systems, bro. I've seen him in a double pivot, I've seen him in a double 8, I've seen him in a double 6, I've seen him play all these different roles in midfield, and he's just not been good enough for us. He's not consistent. The guy's out here doing laughing gas on the weekends and then coming to play for us midweek. I'm not on that, bro. He's not serious about being a Tottenham player. He wouldn't even start. For me, he doesn't start in Ange's best team. Ange's shown this season he doesn't have the trust in him. And he's been forced to play him. He's being forced to use this guy who's not good on the ball. And people are going to sit there and tell me, oh, yeah, Basuma's good.
Who's not good on the ball?
Basuma's not good on the ball. He's not good on the ball. Basuma's not good on the ball. For a number 8, for someone, it's not a howler. It's not a howler. Basuma's not good on the ball.
I'm sorry, for me.
And furthermore, he's a bozo because he always flies in to challenges and gets himself booked, and always giving away fouls. This is just consistent with Spurs. And like Spurs gang boss says, he's trash. His attitude stinks. He should be sold. He should be sold. But Bentancur is so much better than him.
Attitude thing, I can agree with you. Attitude thing, I can agree with you. But we're not talking about his attitude right now. We're talking about him as a baller. As a baller, yeah.
His attitude on the pitch,
he's better in the 8 than Saar. He's better in the 8 than Bentancur. Bentancur is, overall, is a better midfielder than Bissouma. Overall. I think Bentancur is overall a better midfielder than Bissouma. But the thing is, the problem with all your midfielders, yeah, and this is the problem with all your midfielders, yeah. I don't think you realize this, yeah. Now, Kulusevski, cold. I think he's been cold this season. I give it to him. Most of your midfielders are good. This is the thing. Most of your midfielders are actually good. But you need to think about it and try and think back, yeah, to when you played football, yeah. Now, if I'm always, yeah, in high up in the opponent's half, yeah, I'm always high up in the opponent's half, yeah. When I get transitioned on, because it happens a lot, when I get transitioned on, yeah, I'm so high up the pitch that now I got to run back bare far, yeah. That drains energy, bro. This is the actual problem with the high line. So now, if you had, maybe a striker who was a bit better at link up and hold up play. Solanke's not too bad, but someone a bit better. Yeah. If you had wingers that were better on the ball, better at holding up the ball,
properly,
proper wingers, yeah, you would lose
the ball better.
Even I don't even think
I know what point you're getting at. We would retain the ball better, so we'd lose the ball less in the final third.
Exactly, but you don't have that. So Ange is persisting with a style of play that does not suit the players that
we get this. We know that. That's bottom line point. I've said this for the past fucking 6 months, bro. That Spurs haven't got the right profile of players to play the way Ange wants to play. But I'm not expecting Ange to change his style. I'm not.
Why do we recognize this, but he doesn't? Why do we recognize this, but he doesn't?
I'm not. No, he definitely recognizes a lot of these players.
He doesn't. He still plays the same way, bro, for 18 months, bro.
No, bro. What he recognizes, we need different players.
What are you doing?
That's the whole point here. We need different players.
Yeah? Stop.
So, look, this is what you don't get. Is a lot of these players are at the end of their Spurs life. The likes of Bissouma will be done by the end of the season. Yeah. The likes of Son isn't going to be a continuous player for Spurs in the coming seasons. His career's done at Spurs. Let's just be honest now. He's going to be retired as a captain and folklore, and he'll be happy. A Spurs legend, whatever, cool. And then even a couple Son, innit? Like he's going to be a Spurs legend just for the fact he's been there for so long, innit? He's a big player from somewhere. Like he's going to be a legend. He's going to be a cult legend, whatever you want to call it.
No trophies, legend.
I mean, he's scored however many goals in the Premier League. To say he's not a legend would be silly, man. This guy's been in a club for nearly 10 years. But to go, fucking hell, you made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, a lot of these players won't be here under the Ange system when we've brought in all the players that we need. I feel like 3 to 4 players in the starting lineup changes our team drastically. And if we can just get 2 of them in January, I feel like we look like a different team by the end of it. Not a completely different team, but I just feel like the way that we play would be a lot better.
Do you know why I think you're naive? Let me tell you why I think you're naive. I mean, it's in a very respectable way, yeah? I think the way that you think is the right way to think as a football fan. Because what you're doing in your head is you're going, okay, the way that Ange plays, yeah, if we continue with Ange and he gets players that suit the way he wants to play, yeah, we'll get to a point where everyone at the club has this way of playing embedded into the culture, and it will basically just become more of every transfer window, adding to the cake, innit? Like adding little extras to the cake just to make it a bit nicer in it. But the core there, you get me the sponge and you get it the jam for the Victoria sponge or what, that's all there in it. You're just adding cherries and all that. I hear that, yeah. But why you're naive is because deep down, yeah, your club is never going to do that. You know that under this ownership, that is never going to happen. You know this. So this is why I question, Spurs fans.
We spoke about this on stream previously when I told you we have done this under Levy. We've done this in January. We've done this when we brought in the two players you just spoke about, Bentancur and Kulusevski. When Paratici came in 2 seasons ago, we made 2 key signings in January that ultimately pushed us on to finish in the top 4. So you're not going to tell me this hasn't happened before.
I'm not talking about.
I've literally just asked for 2 players,
bro. You asked for 2 players and you got them 2 players. And nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. There's nothing to show for it.
What do you mean nothing's happened?
There's nothing to show for it.
You're just waffling, bro. We improved. What do you mean we finished in the top 4 that season? We wasn't in a good position, and then we improved, bro. What do you not get about that? We signed 2 players to play the way that Conte wanted to play from Juventus, and we improved drastically.
What does we improved mean? I don't understand what that means. We improved. What does that mean? Because correct me if I'm wrong. Bro, you signed them 2 players. You signed them 2 players, and then you got better. We finished in a better position. Yeah. But then what happened? But then what happened next season?
The manager got sacked. Why? Because the manager wasn't backed in the window, and because he wasn't given enough time. That's exactly why.
Exactly.
Okay, because he wasn't backed. Like I said, none of our managers have been backed, bro. What do you not get?
So why are you battling the point when you agree with me, bro? The point I made.
No. You're battling my point because I've sat here and said none of our managers were backed. Even when Conte got sacked, I was the guy sitting here defending Conte, saying no, Conte is not the problem. The problem is the players and the board.
Bro,
what was Conte expected to do with Eric Dyer and Hugo Lloris, bro?
Bro, I said to you, why you're naive is because you know that for Tottenham to be successful, you need your manager to be backed, and then you just said to me, we did it under Conte, we got 2 players, and then we finished top 4, we improved, but then he got sacked because he wasn't backed in the summer. Which is what I said. You're any manager, whoever it is, will never be backed by the back.
For you. Can I clarify something for you, Hooks? Can I just clarify something? The difference between this and the summer. And everyone loves to quote my manager. They love to quote. You use these quotes yourself when you talk about, oh, I'm not going to change my style, mate, and all this. So let me give you a quote from my manager. The way that we approached the transfer window in the summer was to go and focus on young players. He agreed with the approach to bring in the younger players to help the squad get a bit younger, have a potential for longer, whatever the fuck the board and stuff wanted to put together for bringing in so many young players. But the transfer strategy going into this window has changed. He's said that. He's been very clear in saying this window, we want to sign and focus on bringing players that are a bit more experienced and are ready to contribute straight away. So that is the difference, Hooks. The manager and the board have both said, well, not the board, but the manager has come out and said, and obviously he wouldn't say this with the backing of the board because he's a yes man, as some people love to say, the transfer strategy has changed. What more do you want to hear from that? Is that not good enough for you? The transfer strategy not changing? If your manager comes out and tells you the transfer strategy is going to change, what, I'm supposed to not believe him now? Oh, obviously you wouldn't know because your club doesn't have a transfer strategy. Your manager takes in.
I don't know what you want me to say to that.
No, you're the one battling me saying, "Why? What? Your board's not going to do it. They didn't back him in."
Wait, come on, bro. Again, I use the word naive. Don't you think that your transfer strategy being investing in young players works out in Levy's favor, who doesn't like spending?
That worked in the summer. Worked out in Levy's favor, 100%. I didn't back the transfer.
He doesn't like spending money, bro. Which is the point. He doesn't like spending money. Which is the point. I'm sorry. He doesn't like you won't get backed because he doesn't like spending money. So, I know. Let's go to a transfer strategy where I don't have to spend a lot of money. I know. Bring in youth. What are we doing?
Bringing in youth doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to spend a lot. You might save some money, but obviously, yeah. Bro, I just think in January that we will spend. Spurs Look, just like Cass has put in the chat, Andrew spent 400 million. People love to sit there and throw out the number that Andrew supposedly spent all this money, not including all these obligations that were prior to him coming in and so on. But cool, Andrew spent all this money, and Spurs have shown that we spend money. The problem isn't spending the money; it's where we spend it. And that's been a problem for Spurs over the past 5-6 years. It's the scouting, the issue. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Spurs haven't spent anything. We spent money, bro. We spent 40 million on Archie Gray, 25 million on Yan Min Hyuk, whatever his name is, 25 million on or 30 million on Odegaard. We're spending money. It's just not spent well. That's the only way to look at it. But obviously, the January transfer window is coming up soon. I guess we aren't going to have to keep speaking about what Spurs are going to spend, because they're either going to do it or they're not. And we've got the next 4 weeks to evaluate that. Taking it off Spurs now, because obviously spent a whole hour on Spurs somehow. I know Hooks has loved it. Because he doesn't have to talk about his own club. Doesn't actually have to, shy away from expectations and avoid them. Ultimately, what's going to happen in your game against Brentford, bro? Wednesday, as you said, New Year's Day, away from home. Are you going to win?
Potentially, I don't know. Like, it's a hard game. Like, Brentford at their ground, Brentford away is a hard game. Like, I don't know. We can win it, but what I saw against Ipswich. If Brentford do something similar, like, unless Arteta tries a different experiment, I don't know. Like, this Martinelli on the right wing, for me, it didn't work. So now I need to see what the next experiment is on the right wing. But then Arteta may just play Martinelli on the right wing again. So that means that there's nothing for me to really expect from the right wing. Brentford, they got some scary players. They play good football. They have a very good home record. I think it was Nottingham Forest was one of the first teams that beat them at home this season. Other than that, they've had a really good home record. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to underestimate Brentford. They're a good team. They played well this season. I expect us to win it, because we must win it, because we cannot afford to drop any more points. So I have to go into the game thinking that we're going to win. But could Arsenal draw the game? Most definitely. Could Arsenal lose the game? Most definitely. But I'm putting a cheeky 2-1 on it, but who knows what could happen? You know what I mean? I don't quite know how to answer that question, because it really is a very, 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 very difficult game to call. Like, all trolls aside, it's a very, very difficult game to call. I think anybody going to Brentford's ground, it's a very difficult game to call. Like, they're not Brentford of like 5-6 years ago. Do you get it? Like, they've been staple in the league for a while now. They've been good in the league for a while now. Thomas Frank's got them playing real good football. Like, Brentford is a good example of like where the whole kind of establishment is brought in to like a way of playing, a culture. He's a leader. All the players are behind him. All the staff are behind him. It's different, bro. It's hard.
It's just funny when people say things like this, because Tottenham literally brought in someone from Brentford and said, oh yeah, we're going to go the Brentford way and just sign players via data, just push the data model out. That's the way we're going to do, is do what Brentford done. So when you talk about Brentford being a good example, I mean, it's obviously not that amazing, because we're trying it.
What?
We're trying it right now. No, I'm just saying we're trying it right now. We're trying.
Yeah, you're trying and you're failing. You're trying and you're failing.
So it can't be that great.
But they're not failing.
Well, they're obviously not doing that great. They're above us right now, but
bro,
depends what the expectation is.
Don't you
depends what the
dare.
Expectation. Depends what the expectation is. Depends what the expectation is.
You dare. Yeah, because
I like Brentford, and I like what they're doing.
Don't go into the season with the same expectations as Tottenham.
They don't. No one said they did. That's why I said depends on the expectation. If they're doing good, it's dependent on the expectation. What expectation do you have for Brentford?
To maybe finish between 8th and 10th, something like that.
Okay, so if they finish in 8th, 10th, it's a good season. If they don't, then it's a bad season, right?
I mean, it's a different for teams like that, bro. What are we doing? What are you trying to do?
Wait, no, what are you doing? No, what are you doing?
No, what are you trying to do?
You have an expectation. You finish in your expectation. If you finish below it, you're a failure. You're a failure.
What?
If they, you just said they should finish in 8th and 10th. If
Like,
Brentford
yeah,
don't
okay.
finish
If Brentford
in
finish
10th,
like 17th, yeah, 16th, then cool. But I genuinely understand what we're doing here.
bro, you're the one that's starring. I ain't saying anything. I just said, what is the expectation? And you just said 8th, 10th. And I said, cool. If they don't finish that, it's a failure. And we'll see where they finish. I think Brentford's a good team. I think Brentford can cause problems. Like you've highlighted, I think Thomas Frank has been a good manager for them throughout this period of the last 4 to 5 years, especially against the big clubs. He knows how to tactically adjust in games and he knows how to set up for these bigger games. Do I think Brentford's going to win this? I don't. I think Arsenal are probably going to win. And I think Arsenal will get away with this quite comfortably because your record against Brentford seems to be decent. But at the same time, like you said, you can't write them off. It's going to be a tough game. They're a decent side.
Records are there to be broken, man.
Of course, but that's just your record in general is just decent against them. I don't feel like and Brentford this season, like I said, have been very inconsistent. They've been good at home, but away from home, they don't win anything. I know this game is at home, but again, the inconsistency shows. You've had a few more days break than them. Like I said, it will be interesting to see how Arteta sets up on that right-hand side, but ultimately, I just think you guys are going to be too good for them. I think you guys will be too good for them to get over the line. But talk to us about really quick before we do end up. I know we've run overboard a little. January transfer window. What positions are you not targets because we'll see how that plays out, but just position wise, where are you looking to focus for your team?
I don't know about position wise, but Arsenal have 2 problems, at least in my opinion, and one of those problems is we don't have a midfielder that likes to or can receive the ball high up the pitch with his back to goal and then turn and drive and further progress the ball up the pitch, innit? Like a lot of everyone in our midfield is pretty much receive the ball deep or likes to receive the ball deep with the whole game in front of them and then try and make their moves from that. I feel we need a player in the ilk of a Rodgers or a Morgan Gibbs-White that can receive the ball. Even Acuna, I know he's not necessarily a midfielder, but he can play the 10, the false 9, them type of things. Receive the ball with his back to goal, and then you get it turn and do a madness in it. Those type of players I feel Arsenal need inside of the team. And then, because even if you think about it as well, even Marino's someone he likes to receive the ball, and then the whole game is in front of him. And we've got too many of the same profile of player. And the other problem we have is we don't have a winger that, well, not even winger. We don't really have a player that in the forward line that's just direct, like get the ball and run at the player and cause havoc or chaos. We don't really have that. We don't have a winger that likes to run in behind and just do up madness. So those are the 2 key areas that I feel we need to improve in January. Obviously, everyone knows we need a clinical finisher, but I don't know if we'd go out and sign the striker that we would need or the level of striker that we would need in January. That's most likely a summer thing. So I don't know, man. Someone like a Kudus would work for me. Someone like a Mamouche would work for me. Someone like a Cunha or a Pedro would work for me. Morgan Gibbs-White, Rodgers, those are the type of names at least that I have in my head. Mbumo, Semenyo, like those type of players. Lookman, those type of players are the ones that I'll be looking at in January. Whether we go and do it is a different thing, but we just need players that break structure. Do you know what I mean? We've got too many players that are too comfortable and too happy to just play within the structure. So yeah, I guess a bit of individual brilliance is what Arsenal need.
Yeah, no, definitely. Bruno Guimaraes is definitely out of Arsenal's budget, though. There's no doubt about that. Digital mods, I think he's at about 100 mil right now, or 80 to 100. And I don't think Arsenal are going to spend that on another midfield because £200 million midfield is a bit mad. It's a bit mad.
Chelsea.
From 2 players.
Chelsea did it.
Oh yeah, Chelsea did it, but we all know that Arsenal's not Chelsea when it comes to spending money. You guys are definitely a lot more frugal, and we saw that this summer. So whether you guys are going to go out there and spend that much money, and like the questions are with Tottenham, whether you guys are going to go out there and improve in January is remain to be seen. And as of recent evidence of the last couple of years, you improve, but you don't spend much money. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys actually do go out there and do, and see if you are serious about being quadruple winners like you were focusing on doing at the start of the season, I must mention. So let's see how it goes. Huh?
We're still in everything.
That's what I said. Let's see if you guys are serious about being quadruple winners. I never said you was wrong. I just said, let's see if you're serious. Is there a problem with that, Hooks?
I'm just saying we're still in everything.
You are. Same as us. I know how you feel about that.
No, you're not in the Premier League, bro.
We're in the Premier League. We're just in the bottom half.
You have zero.
Where they are.
You have zero chance of winning the Premier
League. But they are. Anyways, people, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you are still here, we got 155 people inside. Again, shout out to Saeed for the raid. It's much appreciated. If you haven't already, make sure you smash the like button. I saw earlier in the stream, Black saying we were 40 away from 100. So I'm not sure how close we are, but if we can just push that up. And yeah, let's get this to 100 likes. We're just a few away. Last people, before you leave, make sure you smash the like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the post notification bell for all the videos that will be coming out this week. Boardroom Talks, Thursday, Spurs. It will be going down. Not sure who's going to be on there yet. I'm going to, send me some suggestions in the comments of who you want to see or in the chat. And I'll see if I can get them on. But Boardroom Talks for Thursday. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. And last but not least, make sure you go to Halftime Hooks. His name is in the name of the show. It's in the name of the show. I'm going to put it in the description now as well. So make sure you head over there. Road to 3K. I think he's not too far off. He might be closer to 3K than I am 1K. So show some love over there. And big up to everyone that has been inside. Yeah, man. It's been another episode of North Divide. We'll be back next Monday, 2 p.m. Show your face.